Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you how I drew this fox using pan pastels and pastel pencils. The video will be split into two parts, this one showing you how I created this blurry background, and the second video will be about drawing the actual fox itself. For this piece I'm using pastel matte paper, which is what I always use for all my pastel work. I start off by getting one of the long sofft tools and dipping it into the pan pastel in the colour titanium white. I rub the sofft tool onto the paper using small circular motions. I found circular motions to be the best way to blend the pan pastels together. This is only my second time trying out pan pastels, so I definitely need more practice with this medium, but I managed to make them work still. Here I tried using one of the more triangular shaped sponges which came in the Pan Pastel 20 colour painting set I bought, but it didn't work that well to blend the background out as it left harsher edges and didn't blend as smoothly, so I went back to using the long stick shaped sofft tool that I originally started to use. I just kept adding more and more of the white pastel on top to try and get the smoothest result that I could. It didn't matter if I added too much pastel onto the paper because I wasn't planning on adding any other colours or layers on top. If I was to add more pastels on top, they probably wouldn't show up as the pastel wouldn't grip to the paper as the tooth is filled up with pastels already. Once I am happy with how the white section is blended out, I go in with some light blue pan pastel using the same sofft tool. This one is in the colour turquoise. In case you're wondering what sofft tools are, they're sponge-like applicators which are specially designed to use with pan pastels. I purchased the 20 colour painting set which came with a variety of the sofft tools, including a large flat sponge, much like a large version of a makeup foundation sponge, some triangle shaped sponges, some small applicators which look like eyeshadow applicators, and these ones which I'm using in the video. It comes with some replacement sponge heads you could just pop on and off the plastic stick easily. It's great that there are so many different sized applicators because you can use the larger ones for large areas such as backgrounds, and the small applicators you can use for tiny details within your artwork. For this piece I'm not using the larger sponges because it's actually quite a small drawing. Usually with pastels I prefer to work a bit larger because it's harder to get in smaller details, but I decided to create this smaller pastel piece just for something a bit different. I did find that it was difficult to softly blend the blue tones into the white, but perhaps it would have been easier if I had used a different applicator, which is something I'll have to test out in the future. The great thing about art is that you can keep trying out new techniques until you find one that you love. There are so many different techniques you can use with pastels, and you just have to find the ones which suit your style of artwork the best. Maybe I just needed to add more pastel onto the paper so that it blends easier. In the end I was pleased with the way it was blended, as maybe if it was blended too softly it would look a little bit too flat, and it's good to have some texture within your artwork sometimes. I'm also adding some darker blues and a little bit of black to deepen up some of the background to create a bit of depth. I tried not to add too much black as I didn't want the background to end up looking dirty or muddy. With darker colours, it's best to add just a little bit at a time to avoid a messy situation. With pastels, you would be able to lighten the darker areas up, but if you added too much black, for example, then it would be a struggle to get those areas to become much lighter, as if you added some white, it would just turn it into a dark grey. And then eventually you wouldn't be able to add more pastel on top, so then it would just be stuck like that. Using pan pastels is much more cost effective than if you use pastel pencils or soft pastels for the background. Pastel pencils would take forever and they would use up so much of the pencil that it wouldn't be worth it. Plus the results wouldn't look as smooth, it would probably look quite streaky. On the back of the pan pastel set I bought, it states that every pan contains approximately 40% more pastel than the average pastel stick, yielding approximately 4 to 5 times more coverage. You also don't need a full set of pan pastels to create a huge variety of colours. Pan pastels are very easy to mix. You can either mix them straight onto the paper, or you can mix the colours onto some basic printer paper before you apply it to your artwork. The second way is easier because you can see the exact colour you've made before applying it to your artwork, so it helps to avoid any mistakes. With this 20 colour set I can mix a huge variety of colours and shades, which is great because I don't necessarily have to invest in more colours in order to produce a wide variety of artwork. Here I made the hill of the snow that the fox is standing on much lighter than the area behind the fox, which helps to bring a sense of depth and that the background is far behind the fox. I'm just using layers of white pan pastel and then some blues and a little bit of black. I found that with the pan pastels, the more you add, the easier the colours blend together, which is why when I first add the colour it looks very patchy and streaky, but the more you add, the smoother the whole thing looks. I do also add some pastel pencil on top of the mound of snow, just to add a bit of definition and to add highlights to the top of the mound. Pastel pencils glide on top of the pan pastels so well. I've also seen a lot of artists use pan pastels as a base for their coloured pencil artwork. I will definitely give this a try, as coloured pencils is one of the art mediums which I work with the most, and it would probably speed up the drawing process a lot, which would be very helpful, as coloured pencils is a very slow medium to work with. In my next video, I'll be showing you how I drew the actual fox within this piece. I did use pan pastels, but only on the body. I didn't use the pan pastels on the fox's face because there was a lot of small details which would have been difficult to achieve with the pan pastels, so I found it was easier to just stick to the pastel pencils for that area. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye guys!